So next up on our soup pea varietal are our Capjuiners. And again, this is another one that is seed lore documentable back to the medieval time periods. It is believed that the Capjuiner monks grew these, and they do have a lot of the vegetative characteristics of our older peas. These are really stunted because I had a problem with rabbits getting into my pea crop this spring, and so these are not nearly as tall as they usually are. So right now they're just hanging out at about like 2 feet tall. Oftentimes, as you can see by the trellis that I have here ready for their growth, usually they get a lot larger, but this is what we have right now. So I'm just happy that they survived the rabbit onslaught. So again, the peas are nice and tender. The pods are nice. They do have a pea flavor. They're not super sweet again. With that, these have a really interesting characteristics that they start to form an internal membrane. And Gerard mentions this specifically when he's differentiating between his pea crops, both the garden peas that do not have a membrane, so maybe something that is a little bit more Calvert-esque, versus these, the Capjuiners, that do start to form this membrane within the pod that makes them really unpleasant to eat. So, I don't know. They're a fun one. They're not one of my favorite. Again, the blossom themselves is this beautiful lavender and white. But because they're just kind of a basic green pea, and they have a very short window, either eating as for a fresh pea, it's a very short window because you're battling the stringiness of the pod, or you're waiting for them to grow into full either green shucking peas or dried peas. So not one of my favorites, but because of the name of Capjuiner, it's really thought that these are ones that can be documented back to the medieval time periods. And in some ways, you know, maybe it does make sense that these that I'm not so terribly enamored with are ones that were more medieval, because it's really before the pea breeding concentration that we see with Louis XIV and the whole thing of green peas becoming so very popular with our upper class folks. And yeah, so I don't know. Capjuiner peas. Nah.